Part 2. Azure Moon. Verdant Rain Moon. Our chosen paths. The Kingdom Army has captured Fort Mercius. Managing troops from the now stable Western Kingdom and former Alliance territory, the Kingdom Army returns to Garreg Mach to regroup and reorganize its forces. With sufficient might to challenge the Empire, the Kingdom Army finalizes their plans to march on Enbar, the Imperial capital.
Ah, there you are. His Highness was looking for you. He's gone ahead and started interrogating the prisoner, Viscount Kleiman's man. He said he'd like for you and I to be present as well. Will you come with me?
I cannot overlook your reckless remarks. Are you really so keen to lose your head?
I only did what I believed was right. I swear to the goddess that I'm not lying. Amidst the turmoil of the tragedy, Lady Patricia was supposed to be the only one who was unharmed. We had been given orders ahead of time to not approach her carriage.
Of course not. What would my stepmother have had to gain from such a...
Perhaps Lady Patricia would have done anything to return to the Empire, to her husband and daughter.
What exactly are you implying?
For the past few months, I've been spying on lords who defected to the Empire in order to investigate rumors about Lady Patricia. Cornelia's words were true. The two of them, I am afraid they conspired together after all.
Enough of this nonsense. You say she wished to return home? That isn't nearly enough reason to cause such a tragedy.
I do not intend to imply that the two of them were solely responsible for the whole affair. They were likely nobles who opposed the king, or potentially someone who wanted to throw the kingdom into chaos. The Empire, and people like Solon and Kranya had their motives too.
So my stepmother joined with them to cause the tragedy. Is that what you believe?
Ultimately, this is just conjecture based on the evidence at hand. I have no idea what their true intentions were.
I see. We will hear what this man has to say. For now.
My lord had long felt that King Lambert's radical ways were dangerous. At the time, he was approached with an offer to take part in the incident at Dusker. My lord loves his homeland. To me, he embodied justice. We were only doing what we thought was right.
And so, in the name of justice, he caused massacre upon massacre out of love for his homeland. You murdered your own king, killed our soldiers, and involved innocent citizens. And yet you have the gall to speak of justice!
I am only standing before you now, because I could no longer bear the weight of my sins. Yes, I believe I do.
Gilbert, lock this man in his cell.
Are you not going to kill him?
I will make that decision once I have had time to consider this man's definition of justice.
Yes, Your Highness.
No, I cannot say that I am. Tell me, Professor, how well do you remember your father, Gerald? I figured as much. Even the memory of those who pass away is taken from those they left behind, little by little, year by year. To be honest, I cannot really remember my stepmother's... that woman's smile, nor the sound of her voice. I always told myself that I would not allow my mind to forget, and yet... all I can recall with clarity is her gazing away, so forlorn. Did my stepmother wish to go home so badly that she would kill Father and me? Kill her false family? Home to her own blood. Her true family. I suppose it doesn't make any difference now. I am asking you questions you could not possibly know the answer to. I am finished with thoughts like that. I am finally able to go on living without clinging to hate. If I truly treasure those who have died, then I must earnestly atone for my sins. Father, Glenn, all of the soldiers who have fallen, the people of Duscur who still suffer persecution. The only atonement I can offer them now is to take responsibility for this broken kingdom that has been entrusted to me. That is why I feel that I must meet with Edelgard and try to talk to her. Do you think it is a fool's errand? Honestly, I think so too. But I must swallow my feelings and grudges, our whole history really, and ask her about this future that she sees. What she aims for once her domination is complete. What kind of justice she clings to as she fights. And why she felt it necessary to start this war. I believe that asking her these things is the true responsibility I have been tasked with as king. We will march our troops to the Imperial capital. But before any battle begins, we will set up camp nearby and send a messenger. I will tell her that I need to speak with her in a safe place, without any weapons or troops. As to whether or not she will agree to my request, well, that rests solely on Edelgard. I would like to believe that as well. You know, Professor, when we fought in Ferdiad, Cornelia mocked me and called me pitiful. But even if it is true that my stepmother never loved me, I am not to be pitied. After all, I have allies and dear friends who care for me. And now, I also have you by my side.
Hey! Please, if you wouldn't mind.
It matters not how just our cause may be. In the end, war is nothing more than organized murder. I understand the desire to reach a conclusion, but we mustn't overlook the sins inherent in our deeds. Sorry. I have a tendency to preach. We have lost so much. And in return, we have taken much from our enemies. I pray we can put an end to this cycle of violence. I have a request. Thank you very much.
I believe in you, but please ensure that His Highness survives as well. Fodlan's future would be in peril if we lost him. I would not be able to go on. Thank you.
Professor, our next battlefield will be the Imperial capital. There will be no turning back. If you have any unfinished business here, you had best settle it before we depart. I knew I could count on you. Good luck.
How would you know what's rare and what isn't? I still believe in the goddess. Sort of. I couldn't recount a single word of scripture for you, but my mother always prayed. I picked up the habit from her. Believe it or not, I'm praying for you too. For you to come back safe.
That reminds me.
Hey!
Come to think, it looks like we're nearing the end of this struggle. I'm sure Lady Rhea is on tenterhooks waiting for me to swoop in and rescue her. Oof, you don't mince your words. Try being a bit more mindful of other people's feelings. Lady Rhea's not waiting for me, I know, no matter how much I might wish she were. She's waiting for you.
I was born in Enbar. My mother and father met in a church there. Not too long after, I was brought into the world. I do not understand how war can happen in such a precious place. It is most regrettable.
Here we are, facing the final battle with the Empire. It's been a long, difficult struggle. We have to get Lady Rhea back. And we have to crush the Empire in the name of Captain Geralt. He's watching over us now, protecting us. I know he is.
Rhea will be somewhere in the city. I wonder if she can sense us coming. The battle will soon be upon us. Let us both be at our best for what is to come.
Right.
Interesting. Seems like the war is gonna end soon. Once the dust settles, it'll be back to rolling in fat stacks of gold for me. Hey, how about a favor?
That damn Dmitri guy plans to chat with the Emperor. Can you believe that nonsense? Really, though, we've been trying to kill each other, and he wants to shoot the breeze? Is he dumb or just insane? No maybes about it, pal. You ask me, they should settle it like civilized folk, with their fists. Guess it's up to the one true king of grappling to talk some sense into old Dmitri. When I'm done with him, he'll be ready to brawl.
Professor! I hope this is the final battle. Don't you, Professor? When the war is over, everyone will be busy with their own lives. But let's all meet up again someday. Right here at Garreg Mach. You, His Highness, my father, our monastery friends, the knights, everyone. It was just a silly whim I had, but I really love it. Oh, and I'll bake a bunch of desserts for it. Reunion sweets! All we have to do now is win. Let's get to it, Professor.
We'll be heading for the capital soon. So much rests on this moment. Will the war really be over if we take the capital? You're probably right. But we'll get there eventually. I truly believe that a peaceful future is waiting at the end of all of this.
Professor, returning to the monastery brings back so many memories from 5 years ago. Hard to believe we only spent a year together here. So much happened that it felt a lot longer than that. But it was all so exciting and so much fun. Honestly, I think those memories are what's kept me fighting this long. What was that year like for you, Professor? I don't think I could ask for a better answer. Let's all do our best to survive this, so we can come back here when it's all over. I know that's what I'll be doing.
Really?
Okay, I'm thinking 10 years ago, Dagda and Bridget attacked the Empire from the west. Their final target was the capital. but they were countered at a port town long before they reached their destination. We spent a lot of time going back and forth, but at least we made it this far.
Thank you. I'm so glad you were assigned to the Blue Lion House, Professor. We made it this far, thanks to your guidance and leadership. There's a bitter fight ahead, that much is certain. You have my lance. Yes, let's do this together.
Professor?
I've been thinking about how we've got our own ideas about justice. And so does the Empire. And what's coming? It's not just a battle between us and them. It's our ideals that are fighting. Whoever wins will say they were right, and the other side was wrong. And I get it, that's how it goes. But nobody's willing to talk or compromise. So we'll fight to the death to prove the other guy's wrong. It won't be an easy battle, but let's make sure we come back alive. Right, Professor?
Heya!
He intends to speak to the Emperor? She's his stepsister, I know, but this seems risky. No, I'm not. I'm sure he's thought it through. If the two can settle this diplomatically, that would be the best way out of this mess. No more bloodshed. Let's just hope he doesn't become so overwhelmed with emotion that he's unable to strike her down, should the need arise.
Professor. Even this town, which was a ruin, has begun to recover its energy. However, acquiring supplies is still difficult. The people living here are struggling too. This conflict must be brought to an end soon. Yes, let us seize victory together and build a new, more peaceful world. Still, I wonder what path my life should follow once we achieve our goals. This has been my intent. However, I sometimes find myself thinking differently. I wonder if it is time for my role here to end. Our peaceful future would hardly benefit from a war-hardened relic such as myself. I wonder if I should ask my wife to join me here, to live out our days together at the monastery. That would not be so bad a choice either. Perhaps it is the fault of last night's drink that I am indulging in such dreams of the future today. Yes, I've learned there is strength in focusing clearly on tomorrow and allowing yesterday to be done.
Hey! It's the old fishing guy! Hi there!
A short time ago, I instructed these children in the art of fishing.
Thanks to you, we caught a really big fish in the river nearby.
Is that right? Be sure you share it with your families now.
We will!
I did say something about that once, didn't I? I even told you to forget you ever saw me smile. But now, I would not ask that of you. Your words from when last we spoke have stayed with me. They bring to mind the king I first served. He told me not to dwell upon the dead. The dead are dead, and those who live are not bound by them. I intend to live my own life from now on. You have a fine smile as well. One that I could never have imagined when we first met. No matter how our titles or positions change, I hope you will always remain yourself, Professor.
Intriguing. Is it true what they say? That the Archbishop is a captive of the Empire? I've never heard of anything so brash in all the Empire's long history. It is vexing that Lady Edelgard's true motives elude me. If only I still had noble connections to draw on. The loss of my house has proven to be a thorn in my side again and again.
The war might be over soon. All this time we've been fighting, and the end comes in the blink of an eye. I have no idea what I'll do afterwards, though. I guess I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I will. Though you already seem to know what you're going to do. Which is what, exactly? Actually, don't tell me your plans just yet. Let's revisit this topic when the war has drawn to a close.
What do you require? Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes, indeed. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes, indeed. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes, indeed. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes, indeed. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes, indeed. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes, indeed. Now let me see. Marvelous. This one should be proud of their growth. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes, indeed. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes, indeed. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes, indeed. Now let me see. I expect much from this one. Yes, indeed. Fare thee well.